All right, guys. Well, it's just me today. No brain. Oh, dang. Oh, here it is.
We're getting here. We started it early. We're not even doing. You're ready, aren't you?
Dude, I'm so ready to
Welcome.
run circles around you. It's week 1. Lions play in 2 days.
Do you even want to announce where we're at right now?
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to the Snoozers Football Podcast. We are so excited. Look, he's gyrating already.
Man, football gets me a certain way, man.
It's been a while. It's probably been like 5 days since you and I have actually talked. Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
actually not spent much time together.
Nope.
And we're back in the booth. Fresh, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Ready to rock, man. A lot of things have happened since last episode. So some of this will probably be, I would say, like some oldish news. Not like super old news, but still relevant. But not anything like within the past couple of days. There will be some things from like last week. When was our last? When did we record last? It would have been morning of Friday?
Yep. Yeah, it was Friday morning.
Okay.
So it wasn't that long. It feels like a lifetime. That's how you know we got something special here. When it feels like it's been too long. It feels
like it's been a while. I feel you. Do you want to start it off?
Yeah.
Your boy, dude. Your favorite guy.
Are we just going off the first note right here, right?
I hate him, so I don't want to talk about him.
I know, again, it feels like a world away, but TJ Moneybags Hawkinson, he did sign his extension.
Good for him.
17.125 decimals per year.
Yeah.
Waller, $17 million?
Yep. So Hawkinson is now officially the highest paid tight end in the league, which is what he was looking for.
Really? Wow.
And then Waller, if I'm not mistaken, just re-signed that deal with the Giants this year when he got traded, right? The extension. He is at a crispy, just even $17 million. I'd take either, to be honest.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not let your babies grow up to be running backs. Get wide receiver and tight end. That's a lot of money.
McCaffrey's like 14, I think, or something.
And he's incredible.
Tremendously more valuable than both of those guys. First team.
But not really.
Yeah.
Apparently, in the eyes of the GM.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel really good. Again, he was one of my guys heading into the draft. Just good vibes. I know there was the whole concern about a holdout or injury concerns, and they all happened to go away almost immediately as soon as he inked the deal. So
I can't express how happy I am for the Vikings.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're down on them.
Happy, not down on them, but that $17 million for a player. That's a good chunk of contract.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
he did ball out.
He's the highest paid tight end. Not that I don't know if he deserves it. I think he does. I suppose whatever. I'm just happy that we, as the Lions, when I say we, that we did not pay him that money.
Yeah,
I'd much rather have that money spent somewhere else.
Yeah, you can definitely spread that around a little bit more,
just
and I think it'll pay off.
I don't think he's like a dominating force, right? Then that's the thing, you know. We'll get into Travis Kelce and whatnot.
So hang on. So we got Jefferson's still on rookie, right? Yeah,
correct.
Because he's
about
to demand the world. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. And then, man, I don't know. I think they have a pretty good offensive lineman, young guy that's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know too much about the trenches over there.
Don't quote me. I want to say it's like Darisaw or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Christian Darisaw?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think that's it. That sounds right.
Yeah,
we are going to get exposed. People are clicking off right now. These guys do not appreciate the most valuable position.
I'm pretty sure that's him. And he's going to be like a very, very good tackle, if I'm not mistaken.
It'll be good.
You know, they just got rid of Dalvin, so they're not paying him.
Yep.
Obviously, defensively, I know that I think some of their guys are older.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they do have a little bit of money to spend, obviously, with getting Hawkinson. But I'm just happy. I feel like the tight end position isn't one to spend a premium on.
Yeah, no, it's kind
unless you have a dominating player.
Speaking of dominating tight ends, this is fresh.
Yeah.
So your Detroit Lions are going up against the Kansas. I was about to say but they're not the Kansas City Chiefs. First game of the season, Thursday night, and news came out about an hour or two ago that Kelce hyperextended his knee, right?
Yeah.
And he was day to day, and now they actually put him on as questionable / limited for the game.
So there's the. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this. Bear with me. I want to say there's the 3 listings: probable, questionable, doubtful.
Yeah, I think so.
So questionable.
He's right in the middle.
Or probable, excuse me. Probable is that they're 75% going to play. What was the middle one I just said?
Questionable, which is what he's at right now.
Is 50-50.
Yep.
Doubtful is
like
75% that he
does not play. So 25% chance to play.
Correct.
So he's right in the middle right now.
Yeah, so he's right in the middle right now. To be honest, I don't think he's I think he's going to play.
What about that crazy stat I threw out at you? Did you fact check me on that? Because I'm pretty sure it's true. That Travis Kelce has not missed a game due to injury.
Oh, no, I didn't fact check you.
In 10 years. Like, look it up.
Yeah.
He's missed some, I think, like COVID, illness, and close contact during that whole weird scheme. Or, they maybe sat him when they had the number 1 seed locked up. But he's not missed a game due to injury. Almost has an Iron Man streak going in that sense.
I'll look it up, but I want to say he missed some games. Yeah, I won't do it right this second.
No.
But, we'll fact check you.
We did have a bet on it.
We'll find out.
There's a fine coffee on the line.
Yeah, black coffee, right? Is that what you drink? No sugar, anything.
I don't have it right now because it's late, but yes.
What kind of monster are you, dude?
It tastes like a cigarette, brother. It's so bad. It's so good.
Can you imagine the disgust on the workers' faces when you order just a plain black coffee?
They love it because it's the easiest order. There's 2 ingredients, coffee and ice.
Yeah, but they're probably scared of you when they pull up. I would be. What kind of person are we doing here?
It's trending. It's trending upwards. Don't you worry about it.
That is not true.
Speaking of your Kansas City Chiefs,
man,
they beat a certain defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl, and that defensive coordinator is now a head coach.
Yeah.
I see you have a little note. You want to talk about him real quick?
Yeah, my note for us here is John Gannon, the worst head coach of all head coaches, ? And then note underneath, do the players respect him? I saw a clip.
You saw the clip.
The clip of, it looks like an SNL, like a skit.
It's pretty cringy.
So what happened, for those of you that haven't seen it, he's in front of the team meeting room, similar to like what Hard Knocks does, right?
Yeah.
They do it every day. The coach comes in, he addresses the entire team. They're in theater-style seating, and he comes in and addresses the team about whatever, right? And a lot of coaches use this as maybe a motivational tool or
which I think he was attempting.
Yeah, and so he asks how many people drove in today, and like a handful of people raised their hand. And then he asked how many people rode the bus, which I think that answer would be 0, right? It's not like...
Or is there a team bus? I don't think so.
I'm hoping so. But there must be something we are missing.
But the question is, the issue is he then never further elaborates on it.
Yeah.
He's done talking about it.
And then he just asked that question, how many of you rode the bus? And then immediately goes something about...
Who has a fire in their gut?
Yeah, who does that put a fire in your gut, or who has a fire in their gut? And everybody kind of just like looking around like,
And then he's like, well, if you don't have that fire in your gut, you need to ignite it.
Yeah.
Right now.
It was just a very, and I wasn't even there. I would just be like, I've played sports since I was little.
Yeah.
Okay, since 3rd grade up until even into college, even now, right? I still play football. So it's like, I've had some bad pep talks.
Yeah.
It's bad.
That's up there.
Right. Like some of my friends will get this, the old shiny jerseys reference. I won't go into it, but
please.
That was when we were in like youth basketball. Anyways, some of my friends will really love that. But there's just some really, really bad pep talks where you're just kind of like...
And you'd file that one under bad.
Yeah.
I had secondhand...
Unmotivating.
I had secondhand embarrassment. He's just a goofy guy, man. And it's I don't know, so some people brought up Sirianni, you know, and he kind of had a cringy first press conference, but at least he came across as genuine. I don't even want to say Gannon does not come across as genuine. It just seemed very cookie cutter. You asked Chat GPT to make a motivational speech.
Yeah,
it was super weird.
I think with Sirianni though, I think he was nervous, right? Yeah. And that was in a press conference. We don't know what his interactions with the teams were.
You're right. Yeah, this was actually this was like your spot. Like you should own this spot.
For Gannon, this is strike number 2 for me.
What's strike number 1?
The weird handshake when he first got to the facilities.
Yes,
with a couple guys. I don't remember who it was.
He had a cringy line there too, I think.
He did. So, like I said,
did he blow it up or he airplaned it or something? It was weird.
Erased it from my mind.
It's just
it was in and out.
Gannon, you heard it here first. You're on the hot seat.
Yeah, dude.
You're on Zach's hot seat.
You ever played baseball, 3 strikes and you're out, bro.
So they're tanking. And I appreciate
they have to be.
So I remember when you could not admit that you were tanking. But now it seems pretty obvious that they're tanking.
Yeah.
Like, I love how they're just owning it.
Well, and I think overall, like Caleb Williams, he's going to be probably the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. We'll get into some college football talk. But
he's going to have 2. They're probably going to have 2 of the top picks.
You think so?
The Cardinals are because so they have somebody else's too.
He was at Houston.
I think it was
because Houston picked up Willie Anderson too.
I think so. Yeah.
Huh. Well, anyways, yeah.
Anyway,
so I think the Cardinals are going to have a couple picks towards the top. Got to think that they're going to take Caleb Williams. Kyler Murray's probably going to be out. I don't know what his contract is, but he just is.
I just don't think he's the guy now.
They're not winning games.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cardinals, we hardly knew ye.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in for a rude awakening. Episode 3, Hard Knocks. I watched that all the way back on. I think I missed it on Tuesday. I think I watched it like Thursday or Friday, and there was a very cool interaction.
Really?
Yeah.
Between who's and who's?
Between Aaron Rodgers and I had to write his name down. Jihad Ward.
Is this so? Again, I don't watch Hard Knocks. Is this the you don't know me or okay?
Yeah. So what happened? And Hard Knocks. This was a complete. I even wrote it on there. Roller coaster of emotions.
You did
because I watched the episode and then I heard things come out the next day. So I'll start from the beginning. In Hard Knocks, what happens is Aaron Rodgers plays in the preseason game. He hasn't done it since 2018. It's a big deal. It's what the whole episode is around. So during the game, Aaron Rodgers throws a pass. It's like kind of a little quick route or something where he gets rid of it. And Jihad Ward takes about 5 steps, and he just pops him. He doesn't, like, knock him down or anything, but definitely gives him a nice little pop, like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
And Rodgers kind of comes a little unhinged. And I think it's like it was at the time, it was rightfully so. Like I'm like, oh yeah, if somebody does that to me, I'm gonna be pissed too.
Right.
So he goes up to Jihad, kind of gets in his face and says, hey dude, like that was like 5 steps, like what the fuck, and says respect, you better respect me, kind of thing, and like
fired up. Okay.
Yeah,
it's good.
And then Jihad said something because Aaron's the one that's mic'd up. So you hear firsthand what Aaron says, but then you can't necessarily hear what Jihad says. You can, but you can't just because he's not mic'd up, right?
Yeah. It's like the first podcast we did.
Correct.
It sounded like I was across the room.
Exactly. So then Jihad says something that I don't think you can hear it, but then Aaron says this famous line that you can't come back from, and that's, I don't even know who you are.
That's a good one.
And then Jihad panics and says, I don't even know who you are. And Aaron goes, okay, come on. Kind of hits him with one of those, right?
Yes.
So this whole time I'm like, okay, like I kind of like that from Aaron, right? Like he's always had that fiery side. But then it comes out later that Jihad Ward says that he did that because one of their players got concussed from a blindside hit from Randall Cobb, and the Jets were laughing about it. So, like, Jihad Ward, and they kind of, like, pieced it together like Hard Knocks did. Kind of weird. Like, if you didn't watch the game.
Yeah.
But what happened on that was, like, Randall Cobb, I mean, it was a blindside hit. He got flagged for it. Probably going to get fined. They talk about it on the show. Like I said, Aaron's mic'd up.
Yeah.
And they're at one point in the huddle, and I don't know if this one is when he is hurt or when it's – I imagine it's not when he's laying on the ground hurt because that would be pretty distasteful.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's, like, later in the game.
Yep.
And Aaron is in the circle of the huddle, and he's kind of, like, picking at Cobb, like saying, dude, come on. Like, you've been in the league for 10 years. You know better. They're laughing about it.
Yeah.
Cobb was like, I couldn't help it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was fired up, whatever, and they're all laughing and stuff. Well, the dude that he hit got a concussion. So the story is that Jihad Ward did that to Aaron Rodgers because he was laughing at his player that got hurt. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm back on Ward's side now.
Yep, exactly.
I'm flip-flopping.
Yep.
So
you're all up and down.
Yeah, it was just a crazy scenario, but, like, I just felt like we needed to address that because, if we get that Aaron Rodgers during the year, the fiery Aaron Rodgers.
Is your stock in the Jets going up after watching Hard Knocks?
I think so.
Right? Yeah?
I think so. I think, and we're past draft day, but I think more than anybody, my stock in Garrett Wilson
was way up.
Is gone up tremendously. Yeah. Like, I'll be honest, if I didn't watch Hard Knocks, I don't really care for the Jets. Like, in general, they're one of those teams. So, weirdly enough, usually if I don't like a team, I don't pick their players for fantasy.
Yep. Obviously.
So, but I was very high on Garrett Wilson. Like,
you were very high.
Yeah, he was one of my
top targets. We did start
targets.
Bench cut with Devontae, A.J. Brown, and Garrett, and you picked Garrett to start.
Yeah, so I liked him a lot. They said a lot of good things. They've said a lot of good things about him during the episodes. But, yeah, I think Hard Knocks, like my stock in the Jets in general, has probably gone up a little bit.
Okay.
There's some things that they definitely need to iron out. I think their offensive line they're going to go as far as their offensive line will. Yeah.
They're thin. I think that's the issue, is that they're thin. I don't even think they're that – I don't think they're like a top 10 or even 15 unit, but I also think they're pretty thin. Like, I feel like as soon as somebody goes down, next man up is going to be a little
in that episode as well, there's a couple times Aaron just comes absolutely unhinged.
Yeah.
Like,
good.
Yeah.
A little fight out of him. I feel like he was kind of treading water the last couple years at Green Bay. So, exciting. Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah. Bring us into the next one.
College football. We do talk about college football on this podcast.
Dude, I watched some this weekend.
I mean,
thankfully.
The big one that we have to talk about is your boy in Colorado. How do you feel about that? Deion Sanders.
They played, obviously they played great. Shadur Sanders.
21-point underdogs?
Yeah, 20-point, I think.
Was it 20?
Regardless, doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Less
we're
impressive.
we're not gonna split.
All I saw was, there was a lot of there was people on the sidelines, people that were there at the game, and I was working at the time, so I could not watch the entire game. But they said that, and this kind of goes back to what you talk about, like pep rallies and that kind of stuff. And it's like, at no point, despite the fact that they're 21-point underdogs and up against the runner-up of the national championship, at no point did they not believe they were the better team.
Yeah,
like that's just what people were saying.
You have to.
They came out
you have to,
and it's crazy because he came underneath so much flack in the off season. Yeah. Taking advantage of the transfer portal. He made some controversial statements. Get out. Shipped out QB, brought in.
Bringing in his Louis bags, bro.
Yeah, exactly right. And people were like, okay, is this going to work out? And it did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of storylines. Obviously, with that kind of upset, it's going to catch a lot of headlines.
Yeah,
right. I think if Colorado would have lost, I don't think there would be as much publicity, but there was. TCU did lose some of their key guys. They lost. Duggan, their quarterback. Johnston, their wide receiver.
Quinn.
But I'm not going to take credit away from Colorado. Like, they were 20-point underdogs for a reason. They came in, took care of business at TCU. So, like, that's where some of these storylines come in, where the nice part about the world that we live in now, everything is on camera. So there was some video clips of the sidelines where these guys were kind of chirping at Travis Hunter, right? Who is Colorado's probably best player. Right?
The dude.
He's the guy.
119 snaps, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, had an interception. I had
11 catches, 119.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So he played really well.
Yep. He's got that dog in him.
And so there was somebody on the sideline. I don't know who it was that was videotaping. And he's videotaping the play because the play's happening. He's on the sideline. The play's happening right in front of him. He's a fan or whatever. And as the play starts, you hear somebody behind him say, throw it to Hunter, throw it at Hunter, like talking, and it's the play that he intercepts the ball.
That's crazy.
And so as soon as
I love that. I love that everything's on camera.
Throw it to Hunter. As the guy says it, tries to throw the out route, Travis jumps it.
So I heard it was like an incredible pick. It wasn't like
it
wasn't like an errant throw. I heard like he jumped out like in front of the ball. It wasn't like he was just standing there.
No,
and like
he had to make a good effort. Probably most of the time it's probably going to be a deflection. He's got a good set of hands on him, obviously. So he had to come down with it. But the person that was running the camera, as soon as that pick, whipped around
just like
to like 4 TCU fans, like college guys that were in the front row, and he goes, "Which one of you said it? Which one of you said it?" And one dude just gives the bird to the camera, and they're all like looking like,
"Oh my god!" That's
but like
good.
There was that.
I'm gonna clip that in here. I mean, we're gonna find it because I want to see how accurate your impressions are.
It was, they all kind of like looked like in disbelief, like, "Oh shit, And then the other big headline. Actually, Dion was talking about it on the Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
That Shedeur maybe
our direct competitor, but whatever.
And he actually had some motivation this game because he went to a camp with the offensive coordinator from TCU, and the TCU coordinator, he wasn't that at the time, I don't think, but he was running his own camp, and he kind of blew Sanders off and kind of pushed him to the side, and
that's the one guy, like, you don't at least give him the time of day because he's crazy. Like,
well, no, it was his son, not Dion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of. Shedeur, kind of.
Even worse.
Yeah, so Shedeur was at this quarterback camp, and he kind of like played favorites, kind of pushed Shedeur off to the side. Shedeur remembered that shit.
That's crazy.
Dion said that he wanted to go out, like he hasn't seen him like that, where he's like, I'm out for blood. Like, I want to make sure this dude knows.
Yep.
And he
510 yards.
Great game. Good for him.
4 touchdowns. Crazy.
Yeah. Yep. So
insane. I saw that him himself had more offensive production than Colorado did in like 10 of their games last season. Like, that's crazy.
Yep. So I think, and we'll see where TCU ends up this year. Like I said, they lost quite a few guys, but going into TCU and winning is a big deal, and a shootout too. And then the other game, did you watch?
I watched bits and pieces. Game? I had some people over, and I kind of had it up. It was I just remember there was one, I think 2 or 3 drives. Yeah, I think maybe in the first or second quarter where it was like interception, then right back to a fumble, then right back to another turnover. Like it seemed like it was going to be a good game, but I think somebody ended up pulling away. Yeah,
Florida State. So we're talking Florida State LSU. That was the nightcap game. Was it? I think it was Saturday.
It was.
Or was it Sunday?
It was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
I'm pretty sure it was Sunday.
Yeah. So we watched that one. Great game. Yeah. It was at a neutral site, if I'm not mistaken.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it was a really, really good game. Florida State ended up coming back, which I like Florida State. I root for them.
Really?
Yeah. I like their uniforms. I'm a sucker for a good uniform.
They do have good.
We'll talk about that later.
The Cardinals have awful uniforms. We're gonna go back to dogging on the Cardinals for 30 seconds.
Yeah. But so Florida State, I've always kind of rooted for them since I was little. But I like them. It was a really fun game to watch. And
football's back. It just
Florida
feels
State's
right.
quarterback is pretty good. Travis. His last name's Travis.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you're on a first name basis with them.
No, his last name's Travis. I can't think
shout
of
out
his
to
first name
Travis.
right
He's
now.
texting me right
but
now.
He'll be if Florida State obviously does well, he'll be in the Heisman contention. I feel like he's kind of gotten a little bit better every year. So he'll be one of those quarterbacks that'll go next year, kind of up there. Probably not quite with Caleb Williams, but in that top.
Or Drake May?
Drake May, I think probably he's in there with Drake May.
Yeah.
So one of those guys. But there's a full quarterback class coming this next year in the draft.
My favorite thing.
So the Eagles can draft somebody finally.
My favorite thing is we always get so ahead of ourselves and we can never slow down in the football community. It's like
we're already looking at the draft.
The first NFL game is starting. It's like it is in 2 days, and we're like, man, what about that draft, man? This is some exciting.
It's all year round, dude. People think it's just from.
It's exhausting. It's a full-time job, baby.
Dude. Yeah, absolutely. No, it'll be fun, dude. I'm excited for the draft next year to see kind of where some of these.
Stop! We're not talking about the draft,
dude. It's gonna be these are franchise-changing quarterbacks.
That's what people say every year.
Yeah.
Every year there's like, well, you know what? I guarantee in December, January, they're gonna be like, well, this year's quarterback class, isn't as exciting as you thought. But next year, holy cow, it's gonna be incredible. Well, you have some activities for us, don't you? Oh, hang on. First, I have to sidetrack. This is not even on the skeleton. You don't even know. This is unscripted.
Great. Okay, hit me.
So we need to talk just quickly about Undisputed and Shannon and Skip. Did you see that clip where Shannon kept calling Stephen A. Smith Skip?
Skip.
And because it's such a quick thing.
He'd go.
And even sometimes when I used to watch it a lot. Every morning I had it on. So then when I'd get in arguments at work about football or whatnot, that was my thing. Like I now non-ironically say let's ride, the whole Broncos thing. But I'd be like skip, But and that's just me watching it 3 times a week. Imagine you're with him for 7 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's anything personal against Stephen A. Smith. But then he wore a name tag. Did you see that? Stephen A. Smith had a name tag on the next day, and he's like, just so you don't get confused.
Yeah, it's like calling your new girlfriend by the ex-girlfriend.
The Freudian slip, bro, your dad.
Yeah. And he's done it multiple times.
He has done it multiple times. And then
He is so defeated every time he does it, dude. I saw the one, he was like, oh,
talking about Shannon, he's like, man, he actually feels bad. I think it's a funny thing. And he must feel so bad, You
would feel just dumb as hell, though, doing that every time.
It's heavy. That's another thing where I'm going to bring up. You're going to be like, no. When you're in elementary school and you call the teacher mom,
yeah, that's tough to come back from, dude.
You just want to die.
Yeah. It's it doesn't matter what all the rest of the class is doing. As soon as you could be in front of the teacher and you say mom and everybody just goes.
It's like when you're in a store and the loud music changes and the song ends and you get caught saying something embarrassing and everybody in the world hears
that's
you.
That's tough to come back from, dude.
So then there's that, and then there's Skip, and I don't watch the new Undisputed, but we touched on
Surprisingly not. Dude.
Surprisingly not, and it is just...
At this point, the amount that you talk about it, I would think that you'd fall asleep to it every night. Not even the real show, just the audio.
Because it's so fascinating. Because it's literally, and again, I've seen clips, and they've been cherry picked, but it makes me giggle, and it just Skip not getting a word in around edgewise in his own show. And he's going like that. He's doing that weird mouth thing.
Did we find out? Did we find out if there's a mediator?
I don't think there's no. I think they
brought in that last episode.
I think they brought in a mediator.
They had to. They didn't want to. They had to. That's somebody else on the payroll. They didn't have a choice.
They have to provide health insurance for this person. That's a big expense.
That's okay.
And
they don't have a show.
Because I saw the ratings were dropping.
Oh my goodness.
And you got the 3 loudest voices in football.
Yeah.
It just.
I think we're past that era. I think it was just I think it was just a blip on the radar.
Flash in a pan.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We don't say that enough.
Where it was cool for a little while, but then it's
now it's tired and they lost a natural charisma and
and
Skip's kind of cringe.
And sometimes their stuff is so outlandish. You're just okay.
Yeah.
You don't believe that.
Yeah.
Davis Mills is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, that. Yeah, it's
Houston Texans are going to win the Super Bowl.
You're just saying stuff just to get click and views, which is an easy segue into our next segment. We have activities.
We got more activities. We'll post this on the screen so you guys can see what we're talking about.
We're getting so good at that, and by we're getting so good at that, I mean I'm getting so good at that.
Hey, you do a great job, dude.
I know. It's actually so hilarious. So the first one I uploaded actually to YouTube, and I did this.
Yeah.
And then
then you put it over here.
There was one where for some reason it got way out of sync, and so I do this and I hold it like that, and then I put my hand down and the image doesn't pop up for 30 seconds. So
that's super tough.
Weird rookie mistake. We're getting there. We grow every day.
So the graphic is brought to you by our friends at Fox NFL once again. The graphic is which team will go from worst to first, and these are all 8 of the teams that finished last in their division. Last year, you've got the Bears, Falcons, Commanders, Cardinals, and the NFC and AFC is Browns, Texans, Jets, Broncos. So which 8 of these teams do you think is going to finish first in their division?
So,
and we posted this yesterday, and we had some.
Yeah, we had a few.
I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. Obvious answer is Jets.
Obvious answer is Jets.
So you can't say Jets. Say somebody else.
Okay, because I thought you were going to cop out, and I thought you were going to say the Jets.
Never. You're the one that always cops out.
If you're watching this, don't comment Jets. We know it's the Jets, okay?
Yeah.
We're all watching Hard Knocks minus me.
Yeah.
We know it.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, Jets.
I have 2.
Okay, hit me.
I have 2, and one is one is reasonable. And the other's like, of course not. But maybe. Okay?
Go ahead.
And there's an argument behind it.
Okay.
The first one that I think would be probably the most popular one behind the Jets would be the Bears.
Okay.
I think the Bears are...
Not to interrupt you, they got your logo on there, too.
They do have my logo. They do.
So when you post it up there, people will see it.
I love that bear logo. You know
That's
how I
the
love
reason
the
why
good
you
old
picked them. Sorry,
the
go
animal
ahead.
logos.
Go
Exactly. I mean, we're going through whatever Green Bay's going through. They're either going to be the best team ever, they're going to be a disappointment.
Yeah.
The takes change every single day. Jordan Love, whatever. The Lions, your Detroit Lions, my second team, the Detroit Lions, I am also very high in, but there is a chance that there's some offensive regression there. You know, the defense, maybe does not get any better. Injuries can pop up. Anything can happen, right?
Yep.
And then the Vikings, again, like we talked about the 1 point, like the 1 score differential. And I think they had like 11 like wins that were like decided by like 1 score or less. They could definitely regress heavily, right? And then leave it wide open for the Bears. That I do think Justin Fields is going to get better as a passer. Yeah. They started utilizing him a lot more in the second half of the season down the stretch.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at the Bears. I think I could see the Bears coming out as number 1. It seems the least crazy on that list.
Yeah.
Now you do yours because I'm going to say
did one.
I'm going to save my second one.
No, I want to hear your second one.
I'm going to save my second one.
We'll sit here in silence.
I left all my notes downstairs. But my second one is the Washington Commanders. This is like an absolute just dart throw. But looking at all these other teams, I can't really argue my way into one of them. And I actually could find a way. Listen, hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out, okay? The NFC East is weird. The NFC East has not had a repeating champion since I was born, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to say the Cowboys or, are going to take over for the Eagles. And obviously, I think my Eagles are going to win.
Okay.
And there's the Giants. But however, I literally backed my way into this, okay? And if you look at their first 7 or 8 games, okay, all of these have potential to be wins. Right?
Okay.
So last year, the Commanders pretty much split the NFC East down the middle. Okay. They were actually 2-3-1, which was a tie, right? For the sake of my made-up math, right?
Yep.
You turn that tie into a win, 3-3. They split it. So let's say the games are 50-50, okay?
Okay.
Their first game is against the Cardinals, who we've established in the first 20 minutes of this podcast we don't like. And then it's against the Broncos and the corpse of Russell Wilson.
Yep.
And then it's the Bills. The Bills, that's a loss. Yeah. I'll give you that, right? And then it's up against the Eagles. Again, NFC East games are weird. You call it, exactly, right? It could be a win. And then they're up against your Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
If the Bears suck, if Fields does not progress as a passer, arguing with my own self, like Skip Bayless territory, that could be a win. And then they're up against the Falcons and Desmond Ridder, throwing to my wide receiver number 1 in fantasy, Drake London. Mm-hmm. And then the Giants again, which is another split. And then they literally face the Patriots, and then the Seahawks, a question mark with Geno Smith, and then they fight the Rams, and it's like there's a world where that could happen.
So I'll say this: the benefit as you're reading those, and you'll see the benefit of how the NFL schedule works is if you finished last place in your division, guess who you get to play? Other teams that finished last in their division. So looking across the board, like comparatively speaking, is Washington better than the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Broncos, and maybe the Bears? Yeah, they are.
Top 10 defense in the league last year.
So that schedule is very favorable, right? But that's just how the schedule works.
I'm not putting money on this. I'm saying for the sake of argument,
say that now.
There was a point.
Show me your receipts.
There was a point.
Show me your receipts. Prove that you
where you're like, by God, it's Chubbs and Happy Gilmore where he's watching them and he's like, by God, he's gonna play and by God, he's gonna win. Yeah. You were thinking that for a moment.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so. I think that
you go.
I don't hate Washington. I won't steal your answer with the Bears. There's just obviously with these teams that are the worst in their divisions, there's a lot of bad teams. I think if I had to, they say, pick a team that has the best chance or you're going to the moon, I'm probably going to pick the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns?
Yeah. Probably going to pick the Cleveland Browns.
To beat out the Bengals?
I mean, I don't truly believe that they will, but for this segment, yes, they will. I think every good offense starts with a good running game. I think that helps. There's some instances where you don't need one. But I think it definitely helps, especially on a team that you don't have great wide receivers. And with the Browns, they have one of the best running backs in the league. There's no question about it. Nick Chubb. We will find out what Deshaun Watson shows up. So
if he can return to any sort of his previous self.
Yeah, I think that is going to be the biggest question mark. Yeah. If he's the Deshaun Watson of old, then I think we could have a three-way race in the AFC North.
And you like them having, if their quarterback gets better.
Anything can happen, dude.
You're right. I just said the Commanders are going to win NFC.
And I'll just go through my thought process. Like, Houston, I think, could finish second, but I don't think they're better than Jacksonville.
No.
And the Broncos, I think they could even finish second, but they're not better than the Chiefs. The Cardinals, they're not good. And then the Falcons, their roster isn't great, but neither is their division.
Yep.
So it's like, truthfully, the best, in my opinion, probably would be the Bears. Like they signed some guys. I think their offense will be good enough. They're in not a great division. So I think, if I had to pick, I'd say the Bears or the Browns.
Gun against your head.
Gun against my head.
I can't believe we did not talk about the Falcons more. We're really down on the Falcons because they are in one of the worst divisions.
Yeah, and it's just like, what is that offense going to be, right? It's kind of the same as the Browns, right? They have supposedly, obviously we'll see when Bijan plays, but we'll say he's a good running back for the time being. Their quarterback is going to take them as far as it'll go, right? We don't know what Kyle Pitts is going to do. We don't know what any of the receivers are going to do. I think they actually have a decent offensive line.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's one of the better units.
Tyler Algier he had over 1,000 yards rushing last season.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so I think that helps a ton, right? Yeah. You're going to give that quarterback and that running back a little bit more time to produce. Their defense, don't have me name 3 guys on their defense because I can't do it.
Cordero Patterson. that's a joke.
But I don't really know what their defense is. I think they have a couple okay to good players. Maybe.
But they're not going to win their division. Just the vibes are bad.
But they have the bet. They have a better chance because they're competing against the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and the Saints.
Right. I know why you don't like them.
And neither one of those 3 teams are necessarily world beaters.
Their uniforms aren't good.
That also, you look good, play good.
They have the big weird numbers that nobody likes.
No, go back to the Mike Vick era, dude.
They're so clean. I think they're doing that for throwback.
They should do it forever for throwback.
You have another activity?
Double activity.
2 activities?
Yeah, we might even have time for a third one. We'll see. We'll see how we feel.
We'll see. Once I absolutely body you in this exercise,
I'm gonna let you go first.
You're gonna need You always make me go first.
All right. So what we have here is, we'll put it on the screen. $20 to build your fantasy roster. Okay. We'll throw this up on the screen right now. Put it on there. And so you can see you've got quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end, anywhere from $5 to $1. You've got $20 to build your fantasy roster. Zufel, you're on the clock.
You want me to go? Oh, you brought back the bling. Okay. So, and this will be good because I actually do play daily fantasy sports, so this is pretty similar.
You know how to waste your money.
I do know how to waste my money, but I do know how to play as well. And these values are pretty good, so if anybody's watching, they want a winning team and they want to win
Hold on. Quick question.
Yes.
We're only doing 1 player per row, correct?
Yes.
You can't pick 2 players from 1 row.
Yeah, I'm not new here.
Well, I'm just double checking because you like to bend the rules. Next thing you know, you're going to pick 2 running backs, one for $5 and one for $2, but they're in the same row.
Okay, calm down.
Well, there goes your whole lineup.
And if you're audio only, you can find this graphic probably on our Twitter or our TikTok or something like that.
Yeah.
But here is my $20 to build your fantasy roster.
Do you want to go through who they are real quick for our listeners or no? Just like a quick. I can run through them probably faster than you because I read way better than you do.
Yeah.
All right. So for the listeners out there, it's $20 build your fantasy roster. For the QBs, we have Josh Allen, and these are in descending order, $5 to $1. So Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff. Those are your options. The first running back slot, you have CMC, Bijan, Chubb, Pierce, and Hall. Second one, you have Eckler, Pollard, ETN, Harris, and your boy Ramondre Stevenson coming in for $1. The first wide receivers, you have Jefferson, Kupp, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and Chris Godwin. And then the second wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Tyreek, CeeDee Lamb, Devonta Smith, and DeAndre Hopkins. And then for your tight ends, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Moneybags, Hockenson, Goddard, and Kyle. I think I'm supposed to be good, but I'm usually not very good. Pitts.
I know, he should be way better than he is.
Yeah.
Without further ado, my $20 build your fantasy roster. Quarterback, I'm going Daniel Jones. Vanilla Vic. A little bit of rushing upside.
Yep.
I'm big on just punting the quarterback on these sorts of things, unless there's like a Mahomes or Hurts, right?
Yep.
I'm just punting it. I'm getting a cheap one that isn't as bad as your Jared Goff for fantasy purposes. So we are Daniel Jones, $2. Then running back, my first running back, it's Nick Chubb for $3, an absolute steal.
Okay.
I think the best pure just runner, downhill runner in the league. Nick Chubb giving me $3. I'm doing math on the fly too.
Yeah.
Running back, I think Tony Pollard. I think we're both pretty high on him for $4. You get a lead main running back that's explosive that I thought they should have started a few years ago. Boom, give me Pollard. Wide receiver, I'll pay up for Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
I think just the best wide receiver in the league right now, especially for fantasy purposes. Give me him. Then the next wide receiver, it's going to be CeeDee Lamb, the clear number one target on offense that does like to air it out.
Okay.
And then for tight end, it's my boy TJ Moneybags Hockenson.
We have completely different teams.
That's so good. That's so good.
You didn't pick one player that I picked.
Are you kidding me?
Dead ass.
Run the next video. This is so good.
All right. My $20 build your fantasy roster. The best value probably on this entire freaking grid. Jared, Mr. Handsome Goff for $1. Put him on my roster. I'm going from $1 to the most. Give me Christian McCaffrey for $5. Because he runs, he catches, he'll block, he'll do whatever. Nice guy. My next running back for $3 is going to be Mr. Travis Etienne. Upside with the catching. His offense is getting better. He's got a good quarterback.
I'm trying my best not to interrupt.
My first wide receiver I'm going to pick in this first row, no doubt, Garrett Wilson. That's another steal of a deal for $2.
Oh, he is really cheap.
Yeah, so I'm taking him for $2. And then go ahead and give me Cheetah for $4. Tyreek Hill.
That's good.
And that saves me. Let me do my math. $5 left. I'll take Travis Kelce.
That's a good. Okay.
And then my team bodies your team.
If this is another,
my team is way more handsome than your team.
You do have handsome. That's good. I like yours. I could sell myself on either of them. Goff, I don't know, man.
What do you mean? Goff should be $3. Prescott should be $2. Daniel Jones should be $1.
People are way too high in Dak Prescott.
That's what I just said. Yeah. All right, we'll put him anyways. Goff should be higher than both of those guys.
So this is another thing. Ending that exercise slightly.
Yeah.
But there's a player in there that we both jumped over that I feel like if this was 10 days ago, a lot of people would have maybe taken him, and that is your boy Cooper Kupp. Did we talk about his hamstring? We talk about hamstrings a lot. We usually have a hamstring segment.
Yeah.
But it's like real. Like nobody knows where he is. Like he flew to like Minnesota.
I know right where he's at.
I know, but like you could.
He texted me and told me. He just said Minnesota.
You and your boy.
And I said, who's this?
Travis from Florida State, the quarterback.
Yeah, dude.
That's worrying because those hamstring injuries me, a perennial athlete, I looked it up, and apparently, like those, like they're really cautious with those because they're really easy to like re-trigger, retweak. Have you ever had a hamstring injury?
Yes.
Do they suck?
They do. I just am thinking about when you're going to pull both your hamstrings running the 40 yards.
I know. So it's probably going to be this weekend. I'm still kicking that. I'm still kicking that can down the road.
Yeah,
so.
dude, double hamstring pulls. No, it's very scary. Like when you have to go to like a specialist.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the doctors that it's their job for the team that they see this stuff like regularly, like can't figure out, or they don't. He wants a second opinion.
It has to be scary. You almost have to lose confidence in your body. Like you're not running as hard as you could if you had full confidence. Right?
Well, and in turn, you get hurt more doing that. Really? So like, from an athlete standpoint, like if you're not out there going full bore, like that is not good.
Yeah.
Like you are holding back, especially if, like obviously I cannot speak on the NFL, but. These guys are top-tier athletes. Like, if you're out there not giving full effort, not necessarily effort's not the right word, but you're not at full health, and you're going to take hits differently, you're going to run routes differently. It's going to affect everything. And the hamstrings, anything below your waist is super tough because those are your engines, right? Your legs. So anything up top, I think you can kind of, to a certain extent, depending on what it is, obviously. But anything below is just because it generates so much power.
Yeah.
Right? So if there's something that's not right, like there's a good chance that it's going to get worse, especially with something like that and how much time you missed last year. Yeah. So now you're starting to turn into like...
That's worrisome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't touch Cooper Kupp.
Am I getting taller?
I don't think I've now crouched, so you can
look
hear
at
me
that.
Okay.
Holy cow, Davis Mills, look out. You see that? I look good.
Making sure we're just not sitting on a phone book. No, I've got the slouch down. Yeah, we'll see.
I think that's it. Unless do you want to spend the last 3 minutes talking about the Detroit Lions? I'm so excited for football.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I think, man, it's just so tough to tell. Half of me wants to come in, and I truly believe we do have a chance to win. Travis Kelce got hurt today. Yeah. I hope that he's not hurt. I personally would like him to play.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go into that game and win the game and
it's
not
lording over your whole season. They only won because Travis Kelce. Like.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'll take a win any day, whatever. Whoever's out there, you're going to play. But I think it's just you want them at full power.
Yeah.
You want us at full power. Yeah. Like, let's go knock the shit out of each other and see who's better.
Who's going to be, again, this is all unscripted. We're just off it, right?
Yeah.
Is this, who's going to be, because I'm thinking right now myself, because if I'm going to pose it to you, I can pose it to myself. Who do you think is going to be the X factor in that game? Like when afterwards, when either team wins or something happens, there's always blank and the Lions rout the Chiefs, or blank and the Chiefs, upset the.
I think, and off the top of my head, I mean, man, I think knee-jerk reaction. I think it's gonna be a Brian Branch.
Really? Safety, right?
Yeah.
Positionless, we called him.
Yeah. I think, we'll see what he can do if he can make some plays on defense. And I think that's what it's going to come down to, right? Are the Lions – a lot of times with these games – let me start over. A lot of times with these games, it's who turns the ball over less.
Yep.
Right? You take care of the ball. So I think, him, I think even a Jahmyr Gibbs, we don't know what he is either, right? So I hope he comes out and he's – the next coming of Barry Sanders, give him the ball and you can't touch him. So it's I'm excited for him. I think we'll win the game on the defensive side of the ball, though.
Okay.
Are we going to be able to contain Patrick Mahomes?
So that's really different from what I thought you were going to say, because a lot of people are talking about the Lions' offense and how electric it was. You had that, clip.
Well, they still need to be. The Chiefs are no slack.
But I thought you'd go with Jahmyr Gibbs or Amon-Ra, the sexy pick. So I like that defense.
Yeah, I think. I mean, those guys have to play well. If Amon-Ra doesn't have a good game, we're not going to have a good game. There's no secret about that. He's the only receiver that we really have, right? So, but the nice thing is, and I think similar to the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs have gone off having mediocre wide receivers for the past few years. Obviously, Travis Kelce helps a ton. And I'm going to say this in a way that I'll explain to make sense, but I think Travis Kelce and Amon-Ra are similar, where they're so good in the offense that you do have like that guy you can go to on like 3rd and 5, and you know he's going to be the guy. And then everybody else is kind of just everybody else. And the reason I say that is because like you have to have somebody like that on an offense, but the offensive coordinators are so good that it's less about players making plays and more about schemes and plays working when you set them up. Right. So
I like that.
I think, and I have all the faith in the world in Ben Johnson. Like he's going to put guys in positions to like do well,
make plays, and just do their thing.
But yeah, the Chiefs. I don't think Chris Jones is going to play.
No.
He sat out for a little while. I do think Travis Kelce will play. I think he'll probably won't practice tomorrow, and then they'll figure it out. But I think that he will play. But I think you look at some of like the new faces on the Lions defense. I think Brian Branch. We're gonna find out a lot about him. Like
I think so. I actually did go. I went defensive as well as I was listening to you, right? And I'm like, the Chiefs are such an enigma because it's like they can beat you like in so many ways, and when they beat you, because the last NFL game that the Chiefs played, I was upset about, right? Because there's 2 ways that they beat you. And it is so frustrating. It's the most frustrating thing to watch when you're on the receiving end, and it must be so fun to watch if you're a Chiefs fan because it's one of 2 things, okay? It's 3rd and 9, and Travis Kelce does not have anybody within 10 yards of him, and he's open, and just Mahomes does his thing, and he gets it. Like, Kelce's always open, right? But, there's consideration. He might, he's questionable and might not be able to play. So now the second end of it is Patrick Mahomes is so damn slippery. Like we said it coming into the Super Bowl, the Birds did, is like we just have to get to Mahomes. We had the best defensive line, we led the league in sacks. We just have to get to Mahomes, and we couldn't, and we could not get to him. I think it could be we talked about offense all last year for the Lions. I think if Aiden Hutchinson, our hometown hero, came out, if he can get out and if he could do what Hassan Reddick could and Javon Hargrave could not in the Super Bowl, and just get Mahomes on his ass, he doesn't have to shut him out, but get him on his ass 2 or 3 times, that'd be crazy.
I think it'll be like Hutch is obviously like a huge factor of getting a pass rush on Patrick Mahomes, but like that whole defensive front, like we have to get a push.
You have to win in those trenches.
It's just so much harder from a back end standpoint, a secondary standpoint, when you're covering a receiver for 3 to 4 seconds, as opposed to 7 or 8 seconds, because now Patrick Mahomes is out of the pocket running around,
and that's when he's most dangerous. I swear to God,
and it's one of those things where like a lot of times as a defensive back, like you're not supposed to look back at the ball, right? So you don't know, like you're just still covering.
And then coverage breaks down, and you're scrambling, and
so
it just increases the chance because it's such a much harder position to play. It just increases the chance that the wide receiver is going to get one good cut on you, and then Mahomes is going to left arm and goes 45 yards on the field.
And like the play calling from Andy Reid, everything sets up something else. Right?
He's crazy.
So all you need is to show in the first quarter that on this play, this DB takes this amount of steps this way when we run the formation this way. Okay, well now we're in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line. He's going to go, all right, well, you're going to probably do that again.
So much goes into it. Football's so good.
It's chess, bro.
I'm so excited.
You're going to see a different side of me.
I can't wait.
I told you that earlier.
I can't wait.
Dude, so we're watching the game together. So I'm going to go to the Zoo household and watch the Lions game. And I'm going to turn into a monster. I'm going to tell you that right now. I am a completely different person.
I love it.
And I'm either going to be pissed off for an entire week, well, more than a week, if the Lions lose.
We'll be fine. Football's back, baby. We made it.
You'll find out on this podcast.
I can't wait. Anybody you want to thank on your way out?
No, we're just getting a lot of support. I appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Been seeing a lot of names on TikTok from some friends back home and stuff that I haven't talked to in a long time. That are just kind of following and showing support. So it's cool to see some people.
And we're making new friends along the way.
Yeah, intrigued. And
my fantasy team sucks, I found out.
Yeah, dude, you got
So I did the thing. I did.
People bodied.
I drafted, and I hated my team. Yeah. No roster baiting here. Okay.
Yep.
So then I went back and we talked about it in the draft episode, and then I self-validated and I googled all my players, and I said, like, I googled why Ramondre Stevenson's the best running back to pick in fantasy, and I found like Rotoballer had an article 2 months ago, and I'm like, hell yeah. And then I got asked back up, and then I don't think I got
to put that out. You had to put that TikTok out to try to validate yourself with other people.
I don't think I got a single.
And they said, I got like 5 votes.
I did the skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're out of here. We'll see you next time. The next time we see you, there'll have been a National Football League game.
Man.
And somebody's want to know. Somebody's owned one. And we got to figure it out.
I hope everybody has a great day.
Play the music.
We're big time.